Hello children. So let's revise a few things about our constitution. What is constitution? Our rule book. It's a set of rules according to which our country runs. And rules we have everywhere, children. We have discussed about this. You hate them, but believe me, when you will be growing up, you will be making rules, believe it or not. Uh, this is the law of nature, kind of, when we are young, we hate, all those foundations, limitations which are put upon us, we hate them. But as we grow, then we realize that they were for our welfare only. And incidentally, I have taken, I spoke out this word, welfare, which we'll be using later on. And keep on thinking the meaning of this word. It is not new for you. By the time you have reached class 9, you have used this word welfare at least 1,000 times. But in what we are going to do right now, this word becomes very important. So, constitution is a set of rules according to which the country runs, and constitution becomes very important because it gave us fundamental rights. Us means citizens of India, we all. So it gave us fundamental rights. It changed our status. We were subjects under the British, and then we became somebody, citizens who had rights. Nobody can take away my freedom from me. Somebody is there who's taking care of my welfare, so to speak. So fundamental rights changed our status, and they are our basic rights. When we talk about, you have read in class 8 only about United Nations, so they are known as basic rights, which are universal, children. Like all the member nations of United Nations, they give it to their people, and they are in some places they are known as civil rights, human rights, basic rights. There are so many versions of them, but they are the same. Rather, they are the basic need, we can say, without which we cannot survive. Basic is that only. Like when we talk about basic things, we need 3 basic things which we need in life. I'll not tell you know them. If you don't know them, you will research what are they, and though you know it, I know very well. But these basic things are like those fundamental things without which, as I said just now, we cannot survive. So fundamental rights we are very clear about. Side by side, fundamental rights were for the citizens, but for the country to run, I just now made this revision with you that constitution is the set of rules according to which the government of a country runs. Now how? Have you ever wondered, if not about, yes, you saw general elections, Lok Sabha I am talking about last year only, you can recall them very easily. Government after government changes, we are a federal setup, one government we have in center, one we have in state. But our lives are not affected. We go cast our vote, remember, universal adult franchise. So this right also has been given to us by constitution, and this is known as our political right. So government after government, they change. 5 years is the term, but sometimes they change beforehand only if something goes wrong. There's a whole list of what all can happen, but every 5 years or so these governments changes, but our lives are not affected. We continue doing what we are doing. Yes, a few rules here and there they change, but no drastic change happens all over the country. Have you ever wondered why? Answer is your second chapter of the civics, salient features of the constitution, because our country runs with the help of directive principles of state policy. Or in simpler words, children, what you have to understand, in class 11, if you go for humanities, your topper of the school came from humanities only. So what happens that civics becomes political science. Very nice subject it is. So in the layman language, what you have to understand is now, as for the welfare of citizen, Constitution gave us fundamental rights. So for the welfare of country, Constitution gave directive principles of state policy, rules for the government. And government, how will they run? Like one government term completed, prime minister change, if or new council of ministers sworn in, cabinet ministers, this that. But how will they work? Who will tell them how to work? There steps in directive principles of state policy. What happens? One government goes and second government has to pick up thread from there only where the previous government has left. This is the meaning of directive principle of state policy. Thank you.